met him when I finally decided to take the official dive into entrepreneurship and have my own business. Emile was one of the first friendly faces that I met. So, welcome, Emile, to the show, and I really appreciate you being on.
Thank you
And
for having me, Laurie. It's
it,
definitely an honor.
well, it's an honor for me. So, Emile is a very, very big supporter of the entrepreneur community. Like I said, I got to meet him when I first jumped in. He was one of the first people I met because of his awesome collaborative working space. And not only was he a welcoming resource of like loads of information, he's so encouraging and so helpful. So I'm just going to do a quick bio about how your awesomeness is awesome.
Wow.
Emile Emil is a huge a huge supporter of the entrepreneur community. As a serial entrepreneur since the age of 4, his passion is to be a support role for entrepreneurs and small business owners. He lives to share his experience from founding and operating 44 different companies and from mentoring over 200 businesses. That's a lot of businesses. He is the co-founder of Collabspace, which is a unique environment, a place to collaborate with other successful leaders, get the needed education and training from experienced people who care about you. So it is such an honor to have you, Emile. I know how busy of a schedule you have trying to keep everything, all the balls up in the air while we're under this situation, and it really means a lot that you took some time out for me today.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, Laurie. I really appreciate this.
It's awesome to have you. So let's get into it. We're here to talk about successes and or challenges and successes or leading on to ways of overcoming. So why don't you discuss your challenges?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, I've had a lot of experience in helping people start businesses and grow businesses, and entrepreneurship is tough. So many challenges there. But this year, especially, as you know, for a lot of reasons, has been a tough one. As you know, in January, I lost my mother, and 2 weeks later, my sister lost her battle with cancer. So, two family members in 2 weeks in January was really tough. I basically tried to bury myself in work to compartmentalize and not think about it. And then with COVID-19, work basically shut down and forced me to deal with this.
Wow. So it's a really big impact, and I'm really sorry to hear about the tragedies again. I've already profusely given my condolences and so forth, but having the situation of COVID just slowing down your whole entire life, it's enabled you to have that opportunity to like force you to face what you need to deal with. Is that what my understanding is?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
this time has given me time to reflect and to deal and to grow.
So is that what you've been utilizing the time to overcome and to help you to go through the grieving processes and go through the slowing down of business? What kind of things have you been doing with the overcoming and trying to get into a healthier place?
Well, it forced me to face it. I you try to ignore things that are not comfortable. It's a
Yes.
normal human progression. And one of the biggest things most people do, it's natural, is we tend to hide and to, bury ourselves in a hole,
Yes.
stay away from people because we're uncomfortable. And it's a natural tendency, but it's not the best solution. So um, having this time basically allowed me to say, okay, I can't hide. I can't hide behind anything. I need to face the situation and to deal with it. And like I've always done and always helped others to do, the best way to deal with anything is by surrounding yourself with people instead of the opposite. And
Yeah.
so to me, community is very important.
Yeah, that's one thing that one of the characteristics about you that I found really impactful for me when we first met is that as an introvert, I try to hide away as much as possible and find the darkest corner and stay there unless I want to come out and say hi and run away again.
Right.
And finding your love and passion for community has really opened my eyes to how it's such a needed resource for everybody. And as you were saying earlier, about the ability to, if people took the opportunity to all look in and pour into each other, then it wouldn't just be yourself taking care of you. There'd be other people looking around and helping you out as well.
It's so true, Laurie. I mean, I've started as a young boy, 4 years old. True story. I was a subcontractor to my brother's paper route. I got paid 10 cents a week, and I
I
felt like
love it.
a big shot, So I've been entrepreneurial spirit ever since I was a kid. And one thing I learned coming up was there was very little support. Not like today, but there was very little support for someone who had the entrepreneurial spirit or wanted to start a business. Just the society we live in was that way. So I wanted to do something different, and Collabspace was all about community. Our tagline is community built success, and it's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people to support you in life and in business. It's all about the people you surround yourself with. Nobody has ever become a successful individual on their own. They may look like, oh, this, Bill Gates, successful trillionaire. Well, he didn't do it on his own. He's got a huge team of people that made him where he is. And so the same for us, whether it's a life tragedy, whether it's entrepreneurship, we need support. And
Mm-hmm.
as I was mentioned to you earlier, there's this message of self-care and me first, and take care of yourself and do whatever you feel is right, and neglect others. I don't follow that message, because I believe leadership is a choice, and it's about helping and supporting the people around you. And if everybody supported the people around them, we wouldn't need to worry about self-care, because we'd have more people taking care of us than we could do on our own. And in times of tragedy, and especially in entrepreneurship, having that community around you to support you is the make or break whether you're going to succeed or not.
Yeah.
So it's important to build that community. It doesn't happen overnight. Collabspace, its whole purpose is to help build community of entrepreneurs to support each other. But in all walks of life, it's all about who you know, and that's what I try to do to help people.
Well, that's awesome. I remembered it's one of the things that stood out for me, just as you were speaking, because I actually dropped that into one of our mutual groups. Is that Ottawa, the Ottawa local community in the last couple of years is really where I've flourished as going through my sobriety, and learning who I intended myself to be in my 20s, and now learning to step into a maturing adult form instead of hindered in the teens. It's been through this community and the support of the Ottawa entrepreneur community where I've really felt most comfortable and most able to open up and express and be myself. And like, I've never had so much self growth because of, yes, I'm doing my treatment plan. Yes, I already had an awesome support net system, but reaching out to new people and new opportunities is something that I was always too afraid to do. And stepping into this community has like been like no other. It's just, like the whole idea of feeling forward and like, okay, so you screwed up. Now that you fucked up, what can we do to help you not screw up in the same way, right? So
Right.
and I've never experienced that before, and it's again part of people like you. Whoop, this way, you. So
Well, that's something to hear, Laurie. It's so important, and you're a good example of why everyone who, especially embarking on an entrepreneurial journey, needs to have that community around them. We know that 96% of businesses fail within the first 5 years, and the number one reason is the lack of support.
yeah,
Support comes from the people around you. So if you try to bury yourself in a basement office and try to do everything on your own, and hide from people and not share and not work together or collaborate, your chances of success are slim to none.
exactly. And when you build out, and again, that's one of the benefits I've had as a VA or virtual assistant is that I not only have the ability to work with I always say that I have the best clients because I do, but but the amount of information that I've learned from them as well, and sometimes it feels like a paid internship. Don't tell them I said that. But the ability to learn and grow and see what their like the best practices are, and then use those same best practices in my own company and better my ability. I mean, the amount of automation that I've learned from a couple of my clients where it's just sometimes I wake up, I'm like, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, I just had the best idea for my own social media and I could do this, and this. And then, I forget it by 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's there in my head somewhere. So yeah, I would have never been able to resource that information or found an interest in it until I was, it was on my desk in front of me where I'm like, oh, that seems cool. So yeah, again, community.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking about I know it always takes a lot to open up and be vulnerable. So I really appreciate and I am honored by you taking the time to do that here today. And I just, as well, I like to close off, I like to ask, what is one thing you do daily that helps you live a healthy lifestyle?
It's a good question. And I got to say, now that I have some more time, I like to make sure I get outside and move. Exercise is important, and getting out every day, even if it's for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, it's really important. And getting outside for fresh air is also very important. But
So good.
thank you for
Yeah.
the questions and thank you for having me. But Laura, I do want to mention that there are a lot of good people in Ottawa that are supporting entrepreneurs, supporting local. I think at this time we all need to see what we can do to help each other. And
Love it.
if we have that mindset and not just, what can I do to help myself and hoard and take care of me. It's if we all think of how we can help each other, we'll come out of this a much stronger community and better for it. So just want
We could
to
we could start a movement. We can call it pass the roll.
pass the roll, sure.
Pass the toilet paper roll.
Right.
All right, Emile, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Laurie. You too.
Okay, bye.